Welcome to CN Movies, the show where we review movies from a Christian's perspective. I'm the filmmaker.
And I'm the film watcher.
Today we're reviewing Hercules, released by Disney in 1997. This was right after Hunchback of Notre Dame, just to give you a time frame. Yeah, this was after Hunchback and after Pocahontas.
You're the film.
And those movies were not as widely acclaimed as...
Pocahontas is.
I think... No. That was like... People got really... Because it wasn't accurate to how Pocahontas' life really was. Because apparently we have, like, I don't know, a dictionary, like, size book on Pocahontas. That we just know exactly how everything went down. But anyways...
There were several little girls who loved Pocahontas.
Aladdin and Lion King were huge. So was Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast. And then Pocahontas, I guess, was disappointing. And then Hunchback...
No one liked Hunchback.
Apparently nobody liked Hunchback.
I love Hunchback.
We'll get to that later.
Yeah.
But today we're reviewing Hercules, which came out in 1997 by Disney. And... let's get started.
Zero to hero, no time flat. Zero to hero, just like that.
Our first category is story. Taken from the gods as a newborn, adopted on Earth, Hercules becomes an awkward teenage pillar of strength. Trying to fit in, he discovers Zeus is his dad, and home is on Mount Olympus. If he can move from zero to true hero, it does put that in quotes, Hercules teams with babyhood pal Pegasus, the flying stallion, and Phil, basically Danny DeVito. I don't know why I didn't just say Danny DeVito. It's what he was. For the mission, but it's no walk on the Acropolis. On the Acropolis? Oh my gosh. He must match wits with Grecian beauty Meg and a comical hothead named Hades. He's such a hothead, and he's comical. Who's having a devil of a time. Oh, I get it. With this hostile takeover of the universe, they capitalize universe. He's armed with morphing morons, pain and panic for help, and only Hercules stands in his way. So what'd you think of the story?
I like the story. I think it's original. I am a big fan of Greek mythology, and so I thought it was good. It's not like... obviously really consistent with a lot of Greek mythology, but anyways,
you can't watch Hercules for your test.
Yeah. But it's definitely different than some just the typical princess movies. And...
like you have a test coming up, watch Hercules? No, definitely don't. I did say the story is unique in some regards. Namely, the bad. I said that the bad side of this movie had a larger role than in most kids' movies in general. Probably because they got James Woods to voice Hades, who you might not know who James Woods is, but you know Hades from that voice. That voice is very specific. Hades was unique in this, and that's the characters though. We'll get to that later. The story is darker in general for a kids movie, but then we get in the night. Did you have any
negative
positives more to add?
I thought there's good humor in it. I like the battle versus good versus evil. I don't know. I thought there was a lot of positives. Nothing is like outstanding and amazing.
Nothing like blew my mind when watching Hercules.
Yeah. But it was good.
It was. I just like I guess I like the originality of it. It wasn't what you. It wasn't some cliche story, and that I appreciate people being original. So, what are some of your negatives for the story?
Well, there's not a lot of like character development. Like Herc is just this crazy teenager, and then randomly he's this hero. I mean, well, he does still have issues when he's the hero. Mm-hmm. It's really not till the end where you finally see some substance. Like, he's kind of a jock the whole time.
He's really bland.
Yeah, he's very bland.
Unfortunately, I mean, you see him on the cover and you're like, he looks hot and interesting. I mean, if I was a woman, I would think he's hot. Since, you did say, what's his name was hot? From Mulan? Yeah. Don't let her forget. I mean, Hercules... he looks interesting on pretty much every art I see for this movie.
As far as the plot goes, or the storyline goes, I mean...
oh, yeah, we're not describing characters yet. My bad. Yeah, for the story, I said there's a plot convenience of Hercules needing to drink every last drop of the potion.
Well, there's mythology.
So because he didn't drink every single drop, there was one drop left... I mean, come on. That was ridiculous. Well, it worked in his favor because he didn't drink the very last drop of the potion. And Hades, it was so dumb. Because who drinks every last drop of something? Like, that's why we wash stuff out. To get it
was a magical potion. Of course, all of it was going to go
whatever.
in. If pain and panic had been
whatever. And I said Hercules has no issue with his parents not telling him about his god's necklace. Like, he had that necklace.
He's just kind of dumb the whole movie, so...
You think maybe they told him and he just like didn't hear
No,
him?
I mean, he
they're
just,
like,
like-
they're like he was like 7. They're like, hey Hercules, by the way, you're totally like Zeus's son. And he's like, yeah, okay. And then like later on, and then this movie, we only were watching this part of his life because this is when he actually realizes the truth. I don't know. But anyways, he has no issue. But so when they do tell him, he's just like, oh yeah, thanks. Yeah, I am a god. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Like, he's like what, 17 years old? Like, I would be livid if no one told me that I had some sort of special power or I was something special.
It's kind of obvious that he was something special.
Yeah, but he couldn't put two and two together. So when his parents told him,
that's why I said he's kind of dumb.
he is. We'll get to that later. And then the plot convenience of Meg getting hurt so Hercules can regain strength. The classic thing of, oh, the woman I love, even though their love story was kind of just in there to be in there. I liked Meg. That's later. I liked Meg. It's
So
just
let's
the love
just go
story.
on to characters.
No, because the plot convenience of Meg getting hurt so Hercules regains strength. Oh my gosh. Anyways, I give the story an 8 out of 10. I guess the negatives weren't that huge. Like, they were just me more nitpicking at things. I guess above all else.
Yeah.
But the story was good.
The story was good.
So you give it, what do you give the
8
story?
out of 10.
An 8 out of 10 as well.
Zero the hero, you know time flies. Zero the hero, just like that.
Our next category is characters. This is where we get interesting because all of the interesting characters for me were on the dark side, except for Phil.
Meg was my favorite character.
She's on the dark side.
Well, she turns good.
Okay, but she's on the dark side.
Yeah.
Like, hello to the dark side. Yeah, that's Meg. Or hello from the dark side, sorry. Yeah, Hades is interesting and humorous.
I liked Hades a lot.
He's voiced by James Wood. It's, as I mentioned earlier. If you don't know who James Woods is, look him up. Yeah, he makes the movie. That's why he's in, like, if you watch old trailers of this movie, he's in every single one. Hades' henchmen, Pain and Panic, despite being cliche. I thought they were kind of humorous. Maybe because I just thought they were stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were just kind of stupid, and I liked them. Phil is a welcome humor for the good side. Finally, somebody on the good side was interesting.
Yeah, but he wasn't even that good.
Voiced by Danny DeVito.
He was a drunk and he liked women. I don't know. I didn't think
We're not in Christian nutritional value, okay?
Okay,
We're just
okay.
describing the characters and whether we like
okay.
them or not.
Yeah.
And I liked Phil, despite being what he is. And Meg isn't the cliche love interest / damsel in distress.
Plus, she works for Hades.
Plus, she works for Hades. Are you reading my notes? Don't ever read my notes again. Yeah, she isn't cliche. She actually can defend herself. She doesn't need Hercules until the very end,
Yeah.
which was, as I said, plot convenience.
And she's very sarcastic.
She is very sarcastic. She's definitely not. That's why she's not a Disney princess.
Yeah.
She was too sarcastic. Disney's like, we can't put up with this. Like, she may be an attractive lady, but all this attitude can't be a Disney princess. Yep, you gotta be wearing a dress at minimum. But then we get into the negatives.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't have any.
I'm pretty much always negative, so.
About the characters?
Yeah, I said Herc was dumb.
He is dumb. Okay, yes. Hercules is nothing special as a character. Not bland. I mean, he is bland. I don't know why I put he's not bland. He is bland.
You know who my favorite people besides Meg and Hades are in this movie are the Muses.
The
Muses? The singing women.
Oh, yeah.
I thought they were funny.
We haven't got to music yet, so I wasn't really...
Well, but they're tiny miniature characters. Whatever, side
They're just
characters.
singers.
They had.
I'll count them
They're
as
the narrators
characters.
too, aren't
Oh,
they? Yeah.
maybe. They narrate it with music. I'll give you that. But Zeus is an instantly forgettable dad character, which probably explains why Hercules is so bland. I didn't think about that. Zeus is the father of Hercules. Hercules is bland. Zeus is bland. It makes sense. They're both bland. And all the gods, little g, are just like whatever. Like, yeah, they're whatever. Yeah, like I didn't care about any of them. I cared about everybody on the dark side. I actually kind of wish the dark side had won. I do. So for characters though, I gave it an 8 out of 10 because of the dark side.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Nice.
I just didn't. Besides Meg and the Muses and Hades, there was nobody else I really liked.
You're just a hater.
Yep.
Zero the hero, you know time flies. Zero the hero, just like that.
Our next category is music. For music, I mean, when we watched this movie, it was a little while ago. The only song I remember is Go the Distance. I did mention there are other good songs, I guess, but Go the Distance is the one I remember most.
I will find my way. I can go the distance. I'll be there someday. if I can be strong.
The problem with the music in this one is there wasn't anything memorable. It's not like Be a Man or
from Mulan
or
Oh my
Beauty and the
gosh.
Beast, Tales All the Time. There's
Yeah.
nothing that like stood out. But I like the style of the music. That was like a black Southern gospel.
I can go the distance.
Correct.
Oh, you mean by the Muses?
Yeah, by the music. I love the Muses.
Oh, and Zero to Hero?
Zero to Hero, Gospel of Truth.
A major hunter. And who'd have thought who was the gladiator? Hercules. Whose down needs a great theater?
I just all had this fun.
I actually.
I won't say I'm in love.
You like the Gospel Truth?
Yeah.
I thought that was a lame song.
No.
I think I'm pretty sure I skipped I got partway through the song. I was like, I can't watch this whole thing.
I liked it.
I thought
Because it was backstory. You hate backstory.
I dislike backstory. If you have to tell me your backstory, it's not.
It was fun. I like the fun black gospel music. That's why I give it an 8 out of 10.
Racist.
Like, even though nothing was memorable per se, I thought the music itself was good.
So you're giving it an 8 out of 10. I said Go the Distance was a good song. Zero to Hero is a good song. I mean, Zero to Hero, now I'm thinking about it, is probably the most memorable song. And then One Last Hope. I don't even remember about the song. Phil sang it, apparently.
I'm down to one last hope, and I hope it's you. No kid, you're not exactly a dream come true.
But I put that was good, so it must have been good. Just not memorable. That's the problem. The Gospel Truth I thought was lame. The music I gave a 7 out of 10.
I gave the music 8 out of 10.
Yeah, and that's because I just didn't. It's
I
not.
like the
It's not a
style.
song I'm not going to come back and look on YouTube and say, and want to think. It's just not going to pop in my head like To Be a Man
Well,
from Mulan.
Well, no, but Gospel Truth pops in my head. I like the style.
I'm
just saying.
unfriending you.
Zero to hero, in no time flat. Zero to hero, just like that.
Our next category is animation. You know what? We said the last anime movie reviewed was Mulan, and the animation was like flipping. I thought it was flawless in Mulan. And that movie came out the year after this one. So I think it's safe to assume there's different animator teams. I know it's all made by Disney, but Disney probably had multiple teams. Because you can't just make... There's no 1 year turnaround on these movies. They weren't. I did the research. This is why I'm the filmmaker. I did the research. They did not make these movies in 1 year. They had different multiple teams working on this. And this team is not as good as the Mulan team for multiple reasons. I guess some side shots of Hercules, like the side of his face, his lips. They were just weird. You don't get that in any of the other Disney movies. I don't understand. Every shot of Hercules needs to be from the front or the back, because every time they did a side shot of him in this movie, I was just off put. I was like, it's like they don't know what they're doing. I know they do, but it's like they don't when it comes to that. And Hydra was clearly computer generated at parts, and that's fine, but it just looked different than everything else in the movie.
That's why I didn't give it a lot of points. I liked the animation in this one. I thought they did well with the Greek theme. I thought, you felt like you were in Greece, and I thought it was pretty. They did a good job.
Yeah.
But I didn't like how that they randomly used computer animation for Hydra, and I think
It was like they were
in battle.
It's kind of like they were practicing with computer animation.
And it just
this
didn't fit.
it was blatantly clear. I'm glad in Mulan, I know we keep referencing Mulan. In Mulan they didn't do that, and I'm glad they didn't. If they did, then they did a really good job, because it blended right in. In this movie it didn't blend in at all.
Right.
I did agree with you. The art style was they nailed the art style. It really gives you the feel of Greece, which Disney seems very consistent with making the setting feel like it doesn't feel like they're anywhere else.
Right.
The underworld looks legitimately evil. It did. the entire dark side of this movie is the reason to watch Hercules. Oh man! So for animation though, I gave it a 6 out of 10. Those side shots of Hercules were just so off-putting, and the computer generated battle with Hydra was it just threw me off.
I gave it an 8 out of 10. I just took off points for the computer animation. I didn't notice the other stuff that you did.
Yeah, well, that's me being picky, I guess.
Yeah.
Zero to hero, in no time flat. Zero to hero, just like that.
Our last category is Christian nutritional value.
Surprisingly, I think this one has a lot of Christian nutritional value, which I know is weird because it's Greek mythology. But I thought there were several positive things about this. I don't know. I can always just take parts of Greek mythology and turn it into the Christian story, because I think there's hints of truth in it. Mainly, it was the fallen hero, or the person who was trying to get back to God, trying to get back to his father, which was Hercules. He was.
So
Let me
you're
finish my story.
Christianizing this whole movie.
I am
All right,
Christianizing
go ahead.
it. I'm just saying that the reason you have Greek mythology is because there was truth. The people were just confused and they had to make up stories around it. Anyways, like there's kernels of truth in Greek mythology. So you have this fallen hero who's down on Earth trying to get back to his father. The only way he can do it is by dying and sacrificing for the people that he loves. I'm just saying.
Are you saying Hercules is Jesus?
Yeah, he's like he's a type of Jesus in the movie, even though he's down.
I understand the comparison. I'm just
Yeah,
right.
he sacrifices himself. He goes to hell.
He does go to Hades.
Yeah, and he comes back to life. I don't know, and he's able to go to heaven. Like I don't know. I just thought that whole. I think it's cool. I think it's really applicable. I think that the character development is good. Obviously, we know that, like, you can't work for salvation, or there's no. I don't know if that's applicable in this situation. Hercules didn't really work for it, but in the sense he did have to do something. I don't know. Maybe that's.
I think you're way off.
I'm probably thinking. Too
I took
much
this
into
movie
it.
at face value, like I was a child watching it. I guess for the most part. The positives were putting in hard work to accomplish your dream. Hercules, despite being super strong, still had pressure put on him by everyone, and he did put in the hard work to accomplish his dream. He didn't just he had to train with Phil. Yeah. I mean, he had to. He couldn't just do it by being himself. He still had to train.
There's also the positive of kind of showing the bad side, like if you do not sell your soul to Satan, but if you're on the wrong team, like there's a lot of negatives. Meg, hated the fact that she was enslaved to Hades or whatever, but
I hate that I'm enslaved to you.
stop it.
Wow, that was mean.
That was very mean.
That was mean of you to say.
Stop.
I didn't say that. We have video proof now.
So what are your negatives?
Oh, so many. But I still haven't. But my first, another positive was Hercules isn't perfect, even when hugely strong, and has to overcome his faults.
Yeah.
Okay. But my negatives are probably what most people will notice. You're over here Christianizing Hercules, and I said it's based on Greek mythology, which includes multiple gods and not God. Now, I would totally get your reference if it was just Zeus. Like if it was just if Zeus was the only god,
Zeus
little
is
g.
the main.
In the
Zeus
movie.
is the main only god.
No.
Like,
but there's all
nobody
these
else
other,
does anything.
But there's all these other gods, and I'm saying that if you really wanted to make
They can be angels.
the comparison, no, they're gods. They're little g gods.
I know.
If you want to make the comparison like what you were saying, if it was just Zeus and Hercules, I would be on board. I'd be like, you're right. That is, you could definitely say that's God and Jesus in this movie, and I would give you, and I would let you. But no, there's all these other little g gods. Hades being funny makes Hell/Satan seem possibly appealing. I mean, Hades was very intimidating. It was very evil when you saw it in the. But Hades is so like.
Yeah, Hades is funny.
Humorous and likable in the movie that it's like I kind of root for him sometimes until the very end.
That's just because you have a dark soul.
That's not because I have a dark soul. I just thought Hades was cool in this movie. There was sexual innuendo with Meg. I believe that was. I didn't put who it was from. I believe it was from Phil.
Yeah.
It was probably from Phil. Hercules didn't make any sexual innuendos. It was sexual innuendo though with Meg because Meg was an attractive woman. Meg selling her soul to Hades. Yeah. That they didn't pan out for the best.
No.
But her selling her soul to Hades was something to throw in there. I mean, I probably wouldn't count that as a negative, seeing that later on you see the result. So they didn't just like have her sell her soul, and then they did the whole song of Devil Went Down in Georgia. No, that's not true. That song, he definitely won that battle. Yeah. Well, okay. Anyways, and then the typical Disney message of "Follow Your Heart" was in this movie, a classic. Mm-hmm. Oh man. Did you notice that one this time?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Follow your heart. Oh, wait. I think it was in Mulan. You noticed that, and I didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was definitely in this movie. Follow your heart. That's all you need to do. Just follow your heart. You can do anything.
And then
you can make reviews on YouTube of kids' movies.
He gave up.
Follow your heart.
He gave up all of heaven and all of his power just to be with Meg on Earth because that's what his heart wanted. But I mean, he was a god. He could have made Meg a. I don't know. There's that was just dumb. I thought.
I don't know. You're done.
Okay.
I love you. I'm just giving you a hard time. Okay, so what's your score for Christian nutritional value?
I gave it a 9 out of 10.
Because you're ridiculous. You Christianized Hercules. I gave it a 4 out of 10. And I'm not even like I'm not even like one of the... I feel so bad because I feel like now people are going to view this review as like, oh, he's one of those Christians who everything has to be... No, man. It's just like there's so much blatant... It was just like for a kid, like you have to explain so much. Like if you wanted to show them this to them... And they didn't already know. Like, you don't have it, like, you have a smart kid, like, he's gonna know better. But if you have one of those kids that doesn't understand things, you have to explain to them. This probably isn't the movie to show them because there's so much you have to like be like, Satan isn't actually funny. I mean, it's funny to laugh at Satan, but not with Satan, okay? There's sexual innuendo, Meg selling her soul. You have to explain probably the repercussion of that later because it wasn't like blatantly obvious. I mean, and then, you know, the follow your heart crap. So for Christian nutritional value, I gave it a 4. You gave it a 9. We're on the opposite end on this one.
Zero the hero, no time flat. Zero the hero,
Just like that.
when he smiled, the girls went wild with.
Our final score for Hercules is a 73 out of 100 between the two of us. I gave it, I believe it's not, I mean, it's kind of like Sandlot. Like, I like Sandlot. I really do like Sandlot more than I like this movie. My score was lower for this movie than for Sandlot, but Hercules I recommend if you have a smart kid and you don't, if you just feel like you don't have to explain everything to them. If you don't have to, if you have one of those kids and you know who you are,
Again,
and you have to explain everything to them because they're just not catching on. This isn't the movie to show them. But as an adult, like, go for it, watch it. Obviously, like, it's not. It's a good movie. As long as you, yeah.
Yep.
You're not gonna add anything. Just
Nope.
leave me hanging.
Yep.
I was kind of hoping you were actually just gonna leave me hanging. But anyways, Hercules, we recommend it for most people. Stay tuned to CN Movies as next time we review. Nice. Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, which is a long time coming. I mean, 3 reviews. How do we not already do this movie?